What's up, people? It's your boy Jatwan. I'm here today in Kerbal Space Program, and I actually have been I've been kind of missing a few of my mods. Mostly I am missing some of the other ones, like Infernal Robotics. Definitely, I was just getting in my swing with Infernal Robotics, and I feel like without it I am a lot sadder, but I can understand the modders, why modders want to wait until the final thing. I was out there toting my own mod is working, and it stopped working, and I've managed to fix it, so I need to push that out, but now I'm hesitant to push that out as working because it's still a pre-release, so you never know what's going to change. And I got my eyelash in my eye. Oh god, I just had food with hot sauce on it, and that burns so much! Okay, so I'm back with some eyeballs that are burning, and that's one thing I really do like now, is if you take a look at what we have in orbit, you'll see my airplane, a satellite. I don't have any bases still in the air, so that I have not put up another orbital base. Good lord, what is wrong with my talking? I have not put up another base out there because, well, I haven't felt like it. It's a lot easier this time around, but I really don't feel it. I really want my mods back. That'd be great, okay? But we're gonna go ahead. I'm losing my damn mind! Okay, let's go ahead and get this guy around orbit, because I need to, we're gonna shoot back for base once again, somewhere over the rainbow. I've been doing a few tweaks to some stock parts myself, because I've been reading up on some things, and I've wanted to test some things out, and I kind of like some ideas, didn't like some other ideas. For instance, there was a, back in 1.1, I actually had tweaked out the wheels. I had tweaked the wheels out so that just the small wheel, I tweaked the small wheel out so that way I had a motor on it. So now I have a motorized small wheel, and I have it's a small landing gear and the motorized small landing gear. And of course, I made the motorized small landing gear slightly heavier to compensate for the motor, but also it's very nice because, even it is burning electricity, it is nice to have that ability to maneuver your craft around, because that's kind of awesome, especially when you're trying to do little small liftoff takeoffs and you're trying to land it on an aircraft carrier. Now you need to move it back into position. Well, I don't want to fight all that, so these are just things I do in my random time. And I also decided to do ablative paint, so just not as much ablation as the normal modules would have, but it has like an ablative paint to it, which is really nice because now I can use these little styled nose cones, and they have, as you can see here, just 50 for the ablator, and that also gives me a little bit of control over the style. And I really don't use these that much, but now that they have the ablator on there, I could definitely continue to use them because that's awesome. And I think I was messing with the Mark II. I actually put some ablation on that one, but if I already have it on the cone, I don't really need it on the cockpit. My idea was to put an ablator over everything, but that's a lot of damn work. All right, let's see if I can get this thing coming down. My mouth is not working at the moment. You're gonna have to forgive me. All right, so let's go ahead and bring this up here, and let's go full throttle. We're just gonna burn out that oxidizer. All right. I'm actually going to do a bit more because I don't have that blunt nose cone coming in, and that should allow me to glide in a little better than normal. Alright, we're good there. 5 to turn that one off. Now, what you're seeing on the back here, you'll probably be able to see a little better when I'm in the light. What you're seeing back here is actually some hidden propellers. And also in here, this is just another structural fuselage. And in here I have tucked away 4 of these RTGs. 4 of these here JD fuel cells. That's another mod of mine, to tell you the truth, and it works just fine because all it is a tweak on the normal liquid fuel cells, but these need intake air, so that's the only difference. And you see I have different intakes. They have their own intake, but I like to drop additional intakes in there, even though this one has intakes. And what you see back here is the folding Firespitter propellers set to reverse thrust. Yes, indeed, they are back. Let's make sure I'm set to reverse thrust here, because that could make for a really short flight if I'm not set reverse. There we go. Okay, so right now they're just hidden away in that shielding. And this gives me a craft. And you see here, I actually have some ablator on these, as on some of these. Not all of these have the ablator, which means I didn't use all the right parts, but we should be okay. Should be okay. Hashtag should. Alright, so let's speed this on up. We're facing ourselves prograde. Let's come on down. Okay. So you can get a better shot of what this craft looks like here. We have our control over our yaw right here. Let's turn off the roll and pitch, because clearly it's not going to work. And it should give me enough control over my yaw. Yes, it does. Fantastic. So all we have to do now is come straight down through the atmosphere, do a few maneuvers to slow ourselves down if things get a little too hot up front, because we clearly don't have that much ablator. Normally, I was considering it. I was like, should I just dump a bunch of ablator on there? And I was like, no, because if it's ablative paint, you're not going to get that much. And I figured 50 would be enough for me to have to do some emergency maneuvers if needed. But I didn't want to feel too cheaty when I did that, so I just made the separate one, threw some ablative paint on there, and made it work. That is something I am thinking about doing, because I was reading up on the X-15 and other aircraft, some higher speed aircraft, and how they use how there is some ablative paint that sometimes can be in use. And that was like, oh, well, hell, that would be nice to have, wouldn't it? Even if it was just, barely useful. Even if it was just a little extra survivability I could give my little Kerbal, then I would want to try it and see how that worked out. So I did indeed do it, and I'm considering doing kind of like a heat pipes thing, something to just take that heat away and is closer to the craft than would be, say, the radiators. And have like a heat pipe that can run all the way down the side, and it actually takes all that heat and discharges it out the back. But of course, not too cheaty. I would have to look up how those sorts of things are done in real life, as in like a computer, and how I could adapt that to work for this craft here. But I'm yapping a lot, aren't I? I'm so sorry. It's been a talkative day. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. Oh man. Alright, so parts are getting hot. I think I forgot to increase the heat resistance on that part, so we may be still in a bit of trouble. Even though that ablator is doing fairly well, I have a concern about how well it's going to handle it overall. Oh, also, what I did for that ablative part, I actually added some weight and cost to the part as well. So that way, it's not too cheaty. That was the big thing. Because people are going to be like, oh my god, he's cheating! He's cheating. He's cheating. No, I wanted to add all that in and hopefully make it so it's not too cheaty. Alright, coming in hard. Now, on the last one I did, I landed right here on the desert. Is that our... That's kind of overheating, somewhat overheating, not really overheating. Everything's starting to overheating. Alright, here we go. Here's where we start doing evasive maneuvers. Just a little nudge upwards is enough to slow us down. And alright, let's get ourselves back to normal. You's gonna be scurry. Alright. How are we looking? We've already trimmed off a lot from here. It doesn't really matter because I can still fly this on back. I just need to get somewhere to where it's going to be flyable, which means I just need to make it through the atmosphere. Looks like we're looking pretty good all of a sudden. Let's nose ourselves right back down into the thick of it then. And hopefully we can skim far enough so that we are getting close to those mountains. It looks like we're gonna do it. It looks like we're gonna be close to those mountains, streaking in like a freaking phoenix. Blood, words, things. It's been such a long day. I didn't even get my grass cut. It's supposed to rain and thunderstorm tomorrow for the next 2 days, which means I have to drive my truck, which I don't want to drive my... I've been having too much fun on my motorcycle. So, I mean, I've only been riding for like a month. But once you got that little itch going and you like driving something like a motorcycle, you don't want to switch back out. So I got to go and throw my rain cover over it and just stare at it for the next few days as the storm hits. I don't know. I may chance it. I may try to ride anyway and just cover it up and then have to ride in the rain, which sounds really damn miserable. Alright. Here's where we can turn that off. And we just now need to get in this lower atmosphere. I think while I have all the speed going, no, I want to wait so it's actually visible. Because I like blowing off those fairings when it's all visible. Alright, looking good, looking good. Good lord! That was awesome! Alright, so what we need to do now is deploy these. Oh wait, deploy these, kick on the engines. Wait, we need to turn on our liquid fuel cells. Fantastic, they are working in that enclosed area. And now, full throttle. And we are airborne. Well, that worked out a lot better than I thought it would. I know for the last few videos I've been doing shuttles, return vessels, all the things of the like. But this, what you're seeing here, is a turning point because this is the dawning of the mods coming back. Firespitter, already ready. JD liquid fuel cells is I had to do no modification to it. It's really nice. I know someone said wanted to see if I could add a light to it, which would be nice. That way I could tell it's on myself. But to be truthful, I really don't know that much of what I'm doing. It's just been so long since I've been in modding, so I honestly have not even looked at all that in a while. But yeah, I definitely want to look into putting some type of indicator light on there, so that way I know if it's working or not. And I'm glad it still works, but really if it didn't, then it would mean that all the generator modules in that they are using for their liquid fuel cells changed, and it will be a quick modification for me to fix mine. So I'm confident that that one should be okay. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a long break to Rome. No, if you know where that line is from, then congratulations. Congratulations. You're going to Rome. That's a great movie. I don't care what anyone says. I will catch you guys back at KSC when we're coming in for a landing, because I've never tried to land it. That's right. This is like the first flight with this wing configuration, and I didn't know if this would work, but it does. So yeah, we'll test this out. We'll figure out how it lands. But I got like a 30-minute flight ahead of me, so I'll be back. Alright, so we are coming back on our final descent. And hopefully we can nail this landing. It should be nice and easy. I've done hundreds of these, right? I don't know, I get nervous each time I do this. And now you can see for our liquid fuel, we have not been burning very much liquid fuel. I mean, wow, literally, we've used almost no liquid fuel here. We're still on the main tank, which is pretty good. This thing could probably fly for quite a bit longer than what it currently is. And that is what is awesome about this craft. I actually need to increase the priority here, so that way this balances my craft out a bit. Otherwise, I'm going to have some trouble. I need to keep, everything needs to be 0. Everything needs to be 0. Okay, there we go. Zeroed out. So now let's come on down for our landing, and let's see how the yaw works. Yaw works pretty well. Yaw works pretty well. This craft handles, I wish I could say it handles like a dream, but it doesn't. It handles well enough for me to fly it pretty well, though. Now I know that 1 is the toggle for the deploy mode, 2 is my is on and off, 3 is thrust control reverse. I need to see if I need to reverse my thrust. So here we go. Gear down. Coming on in. I'm actually going to kill them right now. And let's come down for this landing, and hopefully we can nail this. Nice and easy. Nice and freaking easy. Nice and easy. Whoa! Alright, alright. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. There we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and reverse these. Toggle up our throttle. And nice and easy, quick land, and boom, there we go. Alright, brakes. Woo! Well, that was a fun, exciting flight. This aircraft is pretty sweet. I actually really like this one because all I'd really have to do is refuel it and then re-enclose those propellers, and it would be able to be ready for flight once again. So yes, of course they'd have to swap out my ablators, but I mean, that's cool. Anyhow, if you like what you're seeing, do hit that like button, share this one out to your friends. Firespitter appears to be mostly ready. He has a release for the pre on his site. I'll drop a link to his site on the description down below. And I'm gonna get on out of here. So if you like what you see, hit the like button, drop it in the comment, let me know what you think. I guess you guys in the next video. This is your boy Twa, and I'm out. Peace. Whoa! Whoa! Brakes, please. sweet stock aircraft.